Hey, what is going on, guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. We're going to go ahead and get this live started with Robbie. He has a crazy and amazing health and wellness journey. I'm going to go ahead and invite him. Hope you guys are having an awesome day so far. Um, what's up, Samir? What's going on? How's your day going? All right, Robbie has entered. All right, so you should be hopping on now. What's
Hello.
up, Robbie? How's it going, man?
How's it going, brother?
Good, good, good. Here, let me go ahead and set up my phone so that all right, can you hear me all right?
Yep. Sounds perfect.
All right, perfect. All right, Robbie, I guess first to start off, man, how's your day going, man?
Good. I just got home like 5 minutes ago.
I hope you guys are having an awesome day so far. I know it's kind of late, but hopefully everyone's getting off work at the same time as me and Robbie here. But I guess to start off this episode, Robbie, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself? Tell us about your background, who you are, what you're about, and we start from there.
So basically, hi. I'm Robbie Gonzalez. I am 25. Does that count as something I can say about myself? I'm 25. I live in Orlando, in the Lake Buena Vista area, and I go to the gym a lot. I think one of the biggest things that I would say about myself is I'm someone who used to be overweight, and then I fell in love with the gym, and I think that made a huge change in my life, and not only I would say like a health and wellness like aspect, um, in like work and just so many other things, relationships. It just changed my life, and that's a huge part of it. I cook for a living. I love cooking. I love making food. I love eating food, especially. Um, and I work at Four Seasons as a cook and do that every day. And then I come home and cook more food for meal prep. So I can't complain.
It seems like Robbie has found his love for cooking in the gym has served him well. If you guys didn't know, I guess nutrition and I guess exercise itself is a big part of health and wellness. Um,
Definitely.
Obviously, your mental health is important too, but those two factors can influence both of those, your mental health as well as um, how you feel and emotionally. So, Robbie, I guess this perfectly leads into the next thing. If some of you guys didn't know, Robbie had an amazing health and wellness journey. He started around 340 pounds, and obviously that's been a heck of a journey. I just wanted to go ahead and ask you, what was it like? Can you tell us more about that? Um,
Oh,
like,
man.
how was the process? How long did it take?
So I want to say it started maybe 5, 6 years ago. After high school, I graduated in 2014, and I kind of just kept gaining weight and working at food places. Obviously, I ate a lot, so I fell in love with food, and I was trying a lot of things, and I just started to not really care about what I ate and what I did. So I was super unhealthy, and not only what I ate and what I did. I felt like crap all the time. I mean, being over 300 pounds as like someone who's 6'1", I almost hit 350. Um, and I was up there, so it was like getting
Wow.
hard to do things. I would be out of breath for running down the stairs or like going up the stairs, and it got to me. I had tried going to the gym and like going to Planet Fitness to try the gym out, and just never really worked out. I One day one of my coworkers was like, "Hey, let's go hit a workout," and I was finally done. I was like, "I think it's time." Like I was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Mm-hmm.
So I started going to the gym with him, and he had a gym in his house, and it just ever since then I kind of fell in love with it. As soon as I started seeing progress,
Mm-hmm.
that's everything changed. Like I saw
Wow.
that first week where I changed everything I did.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything, obviously. It was a pretty slow process because I had to change a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But even just something as simple as changing what I drink, like stop drinking sodas, I lost so much weight, and it just started falling off. And
Mm-hmm.
the more and more that I did that, and the more that I started to, kind of like fall in love with myself again, it just became addicting, and
Mm-hmm.
like in a good way, obviously. Um, So that was the main motivator for me. It was just going through that and starting that process. And ever since then, the 6 years, I would say it took me to lose about 100 pounds. Probably, I think it was 7 months.
7 months. Wow.
So I lost it quick,
Wow.
but it was hardcore. Hey, what's up, JD? Super hardcore. I cut a lot of food, bad food out, a lot of sodas, because that was my bad thing. Going to Taco
Hmm.
Bell every night. Like I was bad, man.
Dang.
I would get like, because I worked at Carrabba's,
Hmm.
so I would eat Carrabba's food, bring a nice like pasta, fettuccine alfredo, and then go to Taco Bell and get a large meal. That was my dinner. I did that like 4 times, 5 times a week. So
Right.
you can see.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, changing that was the biggest thing.
Mm. So, quick question. So, you mentioned 5, 6 years. That's a heck of a process. I guess how long did it take you to get to that point where you had to make that change and start
Um,
dropping sodas and going to gym more frequent?
um, when I started working out, I want to say it took maybe like 2 months to get to a really consistent point where I would say I dropped everything.
Hmm.
Because it was a slow process. Like I didn't just drop sodas and like
Right.
go to healthy food. It's like it was slowly, and I started changing like what I buy and what I look at and all that stuff and what I ate at work.
Right.
Um, so it took maybe I would say like 2 months.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad. So like there's like the 8 week time frame to build the habit and going and
Yeah.
seeing the results. Okay. So another one, which is actually very interesting. So it's taking you 5 to 6 years to lose it. How long did it take you to gain it?
Like my whole life. I was always kind of heavy, like on the
Hmm.
heavier side. Um, let's see. I graduated in 2014. I wasn't really big until I would say like 2012. So
Mm.
maybe 2012 to when did I start? What's 5 years? I can't even think. To like 2017.
Hmm.
That's about where it is.
Oh wow. So this was, you said, a little bit after high school?
Yeah, so a little bit after high school. 2017, 2018 is when I was like fully into it.
Hmm.
So it took, how many years is that? Uh,
Yeah, like
Maybe
five,
five
six
years,
years.
6 years.
Right.
So
Hmm.
just a consistent, like super bad eating, super everything.
It's actually interesting because most times I guess it would be more like the mental battle
Yeah.
that would that was probably the tougher part.
Mhm.
So I guess what would you say like throughout that journey, because you mentioned 7 months, um you said that's when you dropped 100 pounds,
Yeah.
and
I would
to take the
say,
gain in. Go ahead.
no, you were saying like the mental battle?
Yeah, so yeah, like how was the mental battle, because what was the mental battle like to get into that groove of starting to go in the gym and get those consistent results.
Yeah, it was just really starting off slow and looking being like, I know it's not gonna happen fast and I know that like it's gonna be a hard time, and
Hmm.
just getting past that like first barrier of like knowing that I can do it,
Right.
just knowing that like, and then having the support of like friends and family, like,
That's really good.
I mean, that changes everything. It's like when you have everybody like backing you up, and then like they say, "Hey, you look like you lost weight." It's like that. That was a huge,
Wow.
huge thing where they're like, it motivated me even more.
Hmm.
So it wasn't just like myself thinking like, "Oh wow, I look great." It's like people are
Right.
telling me this, and I'm like, "Okay, well that motivates me to be better."
Wow. Wait, so dang, so it's almost like, I guess until you had the like that community, that I guess support behind you, it was
Yeah.
like it was the tough one of the toughest.
Yeah, it was like
Dang.
nothing because I would have to like push myself to do it, and that's why I just never did. I was like, oh well, I'm not. I'll do it. I'll do it sometime later. I'm like, I'm not motivated to do this.
Hmm.
I don't feel like it. It's like, oh, I'll start next week. It's like the same thing people get stuck up in. And it's like, oh well, I could just do it next week, or I'll make time for it some other time. It's like the procrastination and just putting it off. It's like just start the smallest amount. Just like I said, changing sodas.
Right.
Just started a wave of everything that led me to what I am now.
Right.
So it's just the small changes and the small like steps to bettering yourself. I mean, it means the world.
Right. Dude, that's huge. I never heard anyone talk about it as much as, or at least as you mentioned it. But I believe that's huge. Like
Yeah.
the support system, it does things that, like the accountability aspect, the
Yeah.
yeah, like bumping you up in the progress and things like that. And it's actually crazy because would you say that it was it would have been a lot tougher of a journey if you didn't have that support system?
Oh, for sure. I don't know if I would have made it
Mm,
as far as I did, or as like dedicated as I would be without that. That's a big aspect.
wow. So why change? Why? Like what was the motivating factor?
Um, I would say starting to get up to the weight, just not causing a health problem. You know,
Mm,
'cause you know how when you get up to that weight, and then it's not only it's like everything you eat just like feels like it sits in your body, and then like
mm,
you can't breathe, and it's like when's the next point is like when is the heart attack going to be? It's like you start to care for your well being
right,
when I get to that point. Because obviously I didn't care, and then the more that I thought about it, and I was like, well, I got to do something before something happens.
right. So
So
what influenced you to think about it? Was there any specific someone you just scrolling? Like how did it come to mind where you're like, hey, this can be start becoming a health problem? Because you know how
yeah.
everyone has their different point, right? Everyone has
Hmm.
their different point where it may be a health problem. Maybe they went to the doctor. Maybe they simply just heard it from a friend. Maybe in the mirror, something. You know?
Oh, a big thing that was for me was not being able to fit in clothes, and like
Oh wow.
buying bigger clothes,
Mm,
going up to like pushing it to 4XLs,
wow.
three, like just 5XL, and I did got to that point where I'm like, look, I gotta do something about this. I gotta stop pushing and just keep getting worse, because it's only just gonna keep spiraling into more stuff.
Yeah. So
Um,
wow. So it was almost like you continuing to buy up in your
yeah.
clothing sizes. It got to a point where you're like, dude, it's getting out of hand.
Yes, it was like that. And then also seeing myself in pictures and looking at like what I looked like, and knowing that I'm a big guy, and
Hmm.
just like that I don't want to put myself out there as like that I look like that.
Hmm.
And like how do I look to other people? So it's kind of like a little bit of self-conscious stuff too.
Right.
It's just there's so many aspects that kind of just pushed me over to
Hmm.
like that final tipping point where I was like, all right, this is it. Like, because I tried starting before so many times,
Hmm.
and I would say probably like 4 or 5 times where I tried starting and I never got through with it.
Hmm.
Um, and finally it just clicked.
Just was like, all right, let's do it. Let's get
It's
in the
like, all
routine.
right, it's like it's time. I need to get into this. The friend helping me with his home gym helped out a lot, and just got into it. And I'm thankful that I did.
That's
So,
huge, dude. That's huge. Dude, that's yeah.
thank you.
Like and it's crazy because no one knows the amount. Like we see the, let's just say we see the progress now. We see where you're at now, and we
Yeah,
may see where you were at before, but we don't see like that in between. We don't see
yeah.
365 days a year, 5 years. We're saying at 16, 17, 1800 days.
No, it's a process. I mean, this stuff it takes time, and I've been through it to both sides of it now, to where I lost the weight, and then I gained it back.
Mm,
I gained a lot of the weight back, and I started getting heavier and heavier, and I basically went through the same process again, but not as I would say as how do I say this,
as
as
much
bad.
as bad.
Yeah, like as
So
much. I
so
didn't
you
get up
said
as high, but it was kind of the same thing, to where
right.
I started getting into that. I went to the gym the same,
Hmm.
but I got up to, so let's see. I could start with this. So I was 350. Let
Hmm.
me start over, because if I start there, then it doesn't
Is it
make
much
sense.
easier to
So
explain?
yeah, so I used to be 350. I lost the weight. I lost about 100 pounds, and then I started pushing it a little bit further, and like I just kept losing weight. I got down to about like 214,
Hmm.
and then after that, I had met my girlfriend that I'm with now, and
Hmm.
I obviously got in a relationship, and when you get in a relationship, like you go out and eat, you know how that goes. It's happy, and you started like, let's go here and let's go do this, and it was great. and you don't really notice what you're doing until you see it. I got to that point, and I got up to 280.
Mm,
So I went from 214 back to 280, just kept pushing the scale up and up.
mm-hmm,
But the thing that I did do was consistently go to the gym like 5 days a week.
mm,
I'm thankful that I did because I don't know how much worse it would have been.
mm-hmm.
But I got to that same thing where I was like, well, look, I gotta do something. I'm at work. I can't fit into my clothes again. I'm starting to have to buy up. The same exact
The same
process.
exact process.
And I started cutting it out. I was like, okay, I know what to do. Let me go back to the same as that thing, track my food,
Right.
watch what I eat, cut sodas, just pushing it again. And I got down to really, really heavy into it and like heavy into the gym.
Mm.
And I got down to like 195.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I lost a lot of weight. And then let's see. This is like recently. So this happened 195 was last year. This
Mm-hmm.
time last year. So probably like not January, June, July.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to go on a bulk.
Mm-hmm.
And this is around when I started training with Juan,
Right.
Juan.
Yeah, yeah.
And we started going together to the gym, and I went on the bulk and just ate everything, bro. Like super super clean bulk is the way it started, and then
It got
as like
dirty.
a lot of people can probably say, it like turned into a dirty bulk,
Right, right.
and I started getting up to like 245, halfway there again. I
Mm.
started doing the process. I was like, this is it. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And it's just the same process. And I ended up, I was like, I'm not going to do this again. I'm not going to get stuck in this process. So I hired a coach.
That's
And that was honestly an amazing decision because now I'm back to where I was. Like today, I'm 196.
mm.
So,
Wow. So you went
yeah,
on this journey,
yeah.
350,
It's like up
214,
and down and up and
280,
down. Yeah,
192. Wow. So, okay, I want to ask about the coach, but before I ask about that,
yeah,
it's almost like, I guess, when you were in that constant, like up and down, up and down, up and down,
yeah,
it's almost like if you let go, like if you almost let off the gas just a little bit,
yeah.
it's almost like did you feel like you went back to the habits that you had before or when you started out?
Yeah, I feel like if I don't stay on top of myself and what I do, it's like I start to go back to what I used to do.
Mm,
And it's like the biggest thing for me is food and like eating and not being disciplined enough before
mm-hmm.
to stop myself and say like, hey, well, you don't need to eat that French fry that's over there. Like you don't need to taste this burger every time you make it.
Right.
It's like just especially with cooking and being in the kitchen all the time making
Around
good
food all
food,
the
it's
time.
like, well, I could try just a little bit of this or like a little bit of French. That was my worst thing. It's like just try fries with like sauce. And stopping that is what helped me a lot. And then now with the coach is like I'm super disciplined. I can be like, well, I don't need that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't help me in my process and what I'm trying to do. It's like just the mental aspect. So
Mm-hmm.
it's changed a lot over the years. It's been back and forth and not being able to control it, and then like sort of controlling it, and then skipping and getting back into it, and like not caring. So that's
Right.
what I would say. Yeah, how's
Yeah,
that?
that's crazy. Would you say like so while you did it on your own at a certain
Mhm.
point, right? You did it on your
Yeah,
own a few times with getting back, um, dropping 80 pounds, 100 pounds, 50
Mhm.
pounds. You've done this all on your own before. Do you feel like the fact that you knew how to do it wasn't enough, that you also needed, or also it would be beneficial for you to have someone that, like a coach, to hold you accountable?
yes, that's what I got into these last because it's been 4 months that I've had a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's what I got into because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing specifically because the last time that I lost weight, I was very skinny.
Mm-hmm.
I would just be on the same consistent
Right.
2,000 calorie diet every day the whole 6 months I lost weight.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, didn't really do anything because I tried putting on weight and bulking, and then I
Right.
just lost all the muscle that I put on. So I was like, look, let
Mm-hmm.
me pay money to have somebody put in the numbers for me.
Mm-hmm.
Have somebody just like, look, this is your plan, follow this, eat this way, and that's it. And then the results come. That's
Right.
one of the things I was like, I need somebody that knows what they're doing, that can help coach me, and I just have to plug it in and just roll with it.
Right.
That was amazing. I think that changed my life, to be
That's
honest.
wow. That's perfect. That was a perfect way to explain it, bro. That really is. I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, it's and I think I talked to you a little bit earlier before. I talked to you before this, and
Mhm.
it's different when you were heavy and you knew what it took to get heavy. You were already
Exactly.
habitually got there from doing what you knew how to do.
Hmm.
The fact that that's what you know, it's almost like once you go away from that, it's constantly in the back of your mind, like,
Yes,
hey,
yes, yes. That was a huge thing. I would gain the weight. I would start gaining weight and like gaining weight and getting weight. I'm like, look, I know what I'm doing to myself. I'm
mm-hmm,
getting back into it, and it's like you need to stop. And then previously, when I would do this, it's just like I started not caring. It's like, oh, it'll be all right. Like I won't gain that much weight. And then 2 months later, I gained 40 pounds.
right. Hmm.
So it's like it's
That just
always in the back of your head. It's, you're
always in the
always
back of your
thinking
head.
about it.
Hmm. That's crazy. That's crazy, but that's so true. And I think
Yeah.
coming from someone, if you maybe start out lighter, if you start on the lighter end, and you're
Yeah.
bulking up, it's almost like, hey, if you fall off, you're gonna go back light. But if you start off
Ex-
on the heavier end, you let off the gas, you're going back um,
yeah.
the heavier side.
So that's the thing. It's like I don't get to the point where it's like, oh, well, if I lose weight, I'll it's if I don't eat enough, it's like I'll lose weight. I was like, well, I don't care about
Right,
that.
right, right.
I lose weight. Okay, that's awesome. Let's do it.
That's also perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's different to hear from like, especially from like your side,
Mm-hmm.
saying like, oh, well, I have to eat 5,000 calories a day to maintain, because I
Mm-hmm.
know a lot of people that do that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool like to hear about. So I would assume the same as like hearing about my side, because it's completely different.
Right. And I was gonna say because well, you made a great point, and you definitely I like how you stepped in my shoes. Um, but I also want anyone that is quote unquote in my shoes that maybe started out the lighter end and they want
Mhm.
to get their they want to look better or they want to eat more balance, right? Maybe it is
Yeah.
health reasons why they're so light. Um, it's almost like maybe the people that start out in the lighter end and get up, they probably have this unreasonable, and I'm not going to say unreasonable as in it can't be done, but
Mhm.
unreasonable from where you're starting. These
Yeah.
expectations that you have to be disciplined just as I am. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
we're not losing as much. We're
No.
we're not in as much. Or would you say like health like risk? And
Yeah.
you knew that, but it's also like someone coming from me saying that to you. It's almost like, hey, dude, you don't know everything about what's going on. You can say that, but it's like, hey, to
Yeah.
start out heavier, that journey is a lot different than
Yeah.
when starting out
It's
like.
similar and different in its own ways. It's wow, someone's loud. Yeah, it's a lot. It's like not only I'm sure as much as I like have to watch my health and stuff, it goes both ways.
Right, I agree. So Um, this is one of the last biggest questions. There's one more after this. I wanted to ask, what was the difference in your values, or would you say your values were the same back then, or they are now, or were you just more acting on your values when you started going to the gym more consistently and things like that? Um, so before and after with your values, or if they were the same, um, what were they
I
throughout
would
this
say,
process?
so my values before I started or when I started?
When before you started, because would you say
Mhm.
your mentality is different in comparison to when you were at that you're getting up to that 340 350 range in comparison
Yeah.
to where you are now?
Yeah, I would say it's completely different. All right, yo, Juan, leave me alone. Um, so I would say it's completely different from before. Um, it was just kind of that not care attitude. I never really cared about what I put in my body or what I drank or where just everything. It was just nonchalant.
Hmm.
Um, not caring. I would say that was the biggest thing. Like I had no values. I just wanted to get out of work and go smoke hookah and drink with friends and go eat this and like go do that. It's kind
Hmm.
of just like taking it day by day and not doing anything, you know? I had no motivation for anything because being that big, I was like, well, if I have to do this, I'm going to be tired. So I was
Oh
tired all the
wow.
time. So my
Right.
values, I wouldn't say I really had any. As I started getting into it and getting into the gym and losing all the weight, it started to change. I started to care about my health and like what I did, and I started to care more about the people around me.
Mm.
Because I'm like, well, look, I'm doing this. I can help other people that are trying to do the same process because I'm learning from this. They can learn from this. It's just like trying to have that exchange.
Hmm.
Um, and I'd say to now,
Right.
I've learned a lot, and I know the process. So like I value everything. Like to say before, I didn't really care what I did. Now I care now about like my family and my friends. Before then, it was like, oh well, I just want to go play video games.
Right.
Um,
That's
so
huge. What, and I was going
that's
to ask him, what do you mean when you say that? What do you mean? So you say you care about your family. Um, how would you say that relates to how you're eating and things like that?
because I care more about like what I put on my body. So I kind of watch around me and like the people that I know what they do. Um, so I would say that's definitely part of the big caring aspect because like my mom has diabetes, so like I watch or didn't doesn't have diabetes. She was pre-diabetic and she changed her life and start the same thing, like kind of eating healthy, and
Right.
was able to get rid of it. So definitely a big aspect in like helping my girlfriend and what she eats and doing meal prep and like just kind of looking out for people and knowing that
Mm.
like I can help this process and what they want.
Mm. That's interesting that you said that. I think actually that's I was thinking about something else, but that actually it's
Mhm.
actually awesome that you had that in mind because it's almost like it helped you so much that you're like, hey, I gotta keep you guys like aware of this too. Like
Yeah,
this helped me. You guys should know about this too.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's valuable. I was gonna I was gonna add because I never heard it. This is the first time I'm actually hearing it specifically because
Mhm.
for me at least, it was like looking at it from me getting in the rhythm and things and working out and understanding the nutrition and
Yeah,
aspects of balancing what you eat. I almost look at the people around me and I'm like, hey, like keep this in mind. You know,
yeah.
hey, what are you doing? Hey,
Exactly.
I
It's
don't know
like you
about that.
look at yourself and it's like, well, I'm doing this. It's like I can help these people because I see that they're going through the same thing. It's like, hey, look, like if you do this or you do this little thing, it's like it can help you.
Right.
So you start to like kind of care about them, and then some people are like, yo, leave me alone. So
Of course. I mean, you can't. It doesn't hurt to help.
no, it's little suggestions. That's all it takes.
Right.
So
Man,
yeah,
dude, there's a lot, and I can't wait to have you on again.
yeah,
Honestly,
for sure.
there's just one question that we all ask our guests at the end of the episode is, um, so Robbie, when you think of Robbie, and when you think of the best version of Robbie, I guess what do you envision? What do you envision that Robbie looking like, or being like, valuing?
Just that's a good question. That's a hard question. Huh. I gotta really think about that one.
Take your time.
Just I would say someone who's in tune with like their health and wellness, but not also that like in tune with what's going around that with them, with their friends and family.
Mm.
Um, I would say like, oh damn, that's a lot. You made me think, man. Um,
Question.
I lost my train of thought. Just like being able to like be there for all my friends and family at
Mm.
all points, and like not only like juggle everything with like the gym and work, and like be the best cook I can be, and be the best boyfriend I can be. That's my goal. Like yeah, like you said, Robbie, total awareness, just like of what's going on in everything. Me being able to like take control of situations. I mean, to be at the best um, point in my fitness, kind of, I would say career, like my fitness journey, to take it to the next level, because I want to compete one day. So that would definitely be the best version of Robbie, is one that competes. um, and yeah, just a guy that's able to be with his family all the time and do the things that he does.
It's a great answer. Honestly, I was like, my bad. Every time we ask that question, I'm like,
Yeah.
because it's gonna make you think, and
Yeah, I was like, I can't answer that on the spot.
the reaction was perfect. You're like, okay. And honestly, every time I think about it, oh, look at your fan, your number one fan.
They're sitting right across from me with their dog.
um, but that's perfect, Robbie. That's a great answer. I can relate to that 100%. And honestly, like, I'm gonna be thinking about this question for the rest of the day. I hope everyone who heard the question as well think about it too, because
Yeah.
it is a very important question we must ask ourselves
Mm-hmm.
every now and then, every month, every 2 weeks, every day if you need to, just so you can remind yourself: are you doing the things that are leading you to becoming the best version of yourself?
Yeah,
And
you couldn't have said it better. That's amazing. It's something I haven't really like thought about and put into words, but it's something that you have to think about that, because it's like, are you setting yourself up
right,
to do this?
it's crazy because everyone has their own.
Yeah,
Everyone has their own, and it's just as big.
exactly. Oh wow.
I appreciate you, Robbie, man. I'm happy we got
Appreciate
to
you.
here. I'm happy you got to talk about your journey. I'm sure a lot of people listening to this, dude, a lot of people are going to benefit from this. I know I'm taking some snippets from this, and saving them, because it's it's just amazing, because getting it from your perspective and what you've done and how you've done it. We haven't got, I don't feel like we've gotten a guest that had your kind of story yet at this point in time. And I think it's going to help a lot of people, especially that question at the end. So everyone,
I hope
what
so.
are you doing to become the best version of you? Think about it. And Robbie, again, we're going to have you on another episode, man. You did
Yeah,
great.
I'll be
Honestly,
back for sure. It was awesome to link, man. I'm glad that we did this. Definitely.
I was going to say, hopefully we get you on sometime. Maybe, I don't know when you're doing the competition, but hopefully around then.
Oh, I can tell you when. Should I? Yeah. No, I don't know why I would cover that up. I want everyone to go. Probably by the end of next year.
Okay, we're going to have you on before that, but we're going to have you on around then too.
Nah, get me when I'm actually starving, because I'm doing a prep now and I'm starving, but like I can sit here, but I want to do like a bodybuilding prep and then complain to everybody about how
About how
starving I
tough
am
it
to
is.
like 200%, because I'm already doing it right now, complaining to everybody. So it's gonna be worse. So I'm down to come and talk, and then I'm in starvation mode.
So you're scared. Honestly, I never been through it, so I'm actually excited to hear, like, about what it's like in it, like during it. Hopefully the mental capacity is there.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're not complaining the whole episode. But
Oh no. Oh shit. We'll
or
have
you
to see
can, you
about that
can.
one. Maybe I have to eat before it. I'll eat like right before the episode, and then we'll be good.
Or maybe we could do an episode you just complaining about how crappy you feel doing it.
Exactly. That'd be perfect. You can see me happy now and then really pissed off.
Oh yeah, yeah. Trust me. I see other people go through it, and I'm like, I'm good on the outside. Maybe one day, but
Yeah, I watched Juan go through that whole thing, so I'm
yeah.
like,
He talked
yeah,
about it a little bit, and I'm like, he said it. I was scared. I was like, maybe soon. I don't know about recent, but it's definitely tasking. It's definitely
yeah.
tasking. We're actually having, I think, actually no promo, and we're this year episode, man. I was gonna say to end it off. Was there anything you wanted to say to the people watching this? Anyone? Any tips? Anything last? Anything you want to shout out, etc.
Yeah, just thank you for anybody who came and clicked on my name when it came up. I appreciate you for watching and coming and seeing. I've been wanting to talk about it and like kind of, I wouldn't say get my name out there, but just like talk about my journey.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really good to like vocalize it.
Yeah,
I get to talk to a few people about it, but just to talk to like an audience about it, it's definitely, it's awesome. So thank you to everybody who did watch this and who's going to watch in the future, and to Sesame for barking. And thank you, Justin, for having me on here. This is awesome.
of course, bro. Honestly, you got more. I know you got more to that journey. I'm sorry we had to keep it short, kinda. But I'm definitely interested to hear more about it, Robbie. And yeah, we're gonna work out soon. Juan, you're here.
Yeah,
soon.
we have to, please.
We have to. I know Juan is in here, so we all gonna work out soon. I think he's blowing up the hearts.
Yeah, I see him. I see his little face blowing that stuff up. Hold up, let me get this. This is my dog Sesame.
Oh, what's up, Sesame? What? Look at the bull. Oh man.
Yeah, I got a French.
Oh, those dogs are so cute, man.
The guest appearance at the end.
Dang.
One
Right,
absolutely
Sesame.
loves her.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Sesame. Oh my god, the dog's cute, man.
So, all right, man.
All right, Robbie, we appreciate having you. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. If you didn't get to watch the whole thing, you can watch it. We're about to post it. Check out Robbie's page. His information will be down below in the comments. And guys, go work on being the best version of you. We appreciate you. All right, Robbie, you have a great day, man.
Thank you. You too. Appreciate you.